All right, confession time. I've been straight up ghosting social media. And not because I don't want to show up, which I do, I really do. But the second I think about everything that goes into posting, coming up with an idea, writing the caption, filming, editing, like the whole thing, I am already exhausted. And I have a good reason for it. I'm going to share with you today what's my reason for it. The thing is that I push it off. And if you've been stuck in that same procrastination loop, this episode is going to be for you because I'm sharing one simple shift that's going to get you posting again without all the overwhelm. And this is called the onion technique. And it's about to make your life so much easier. So let's get into it. Hi, friend. Welcome to Content Marketing for Entrepreneurs. Want to market your business without burning out? Are you tired of spending way too much time just trying to stay consistent online? I'm Eugenia, but you can call me E. I'll show you how to create a sustainable way to show up online. Let's make content creation easier and way more fun. Grab your coffee and let's dive right in. Okay, I am not great with climatic announcements, so I'll just say it. I'm pregnant. Woohoo! After 3.5 years of infertility, my husband and I have finally, thanks to God, really, we are having our first baby. Halfway through my second trimester, and it really took me a very long time to wrap my head around the just enormity of it all. And after doing some research, I learned that it's normal for women who have struggled with infertility for a very long time to fully accept and trust and enjoy the fact that they are pregnant. Like it takes us a little while. Like I 100% can testify to that. Plus I was feeling so sick the first, I want to say 17 weeks or so of my pregnancy. Like I'm talking having to go to a gastro specialist because my OB didn't know what else to do at this point. I was in so much pain all the time. I wasn't sleeping. Like all the food was not agreeing with my stomach. Really not my best time. So basically, when all of this was going on, I was functioning halfway. I was only able to really do work for a couple of clients, and the rest I just had to put on hold, including this podcast. Like I am my own client, right? And I had to put all my marketing activities on hold. So this podcast, my social media accounts, I like the little brain power I had, it was just for my clients. So fast forward to the time of this recording, I'm now 20 weeks pregnant. Everything is fine and healthy with the baby, thank God. I'm feeling so much better. Pain and nausea, they are manageable. They're still there, but it's not like it was before. I'm able to work almost every day, not with the same intensity that I had, but I think this is a good thing for me to slow down. But most importantly, I'm able to sleep, and sleep to me makes such huge difference. So I'm slightly returning to my routine, first with a podcast, then with Instagram. And I did a lot of thinking and praying to hear from God about how to adapt my business to the season I'm living. And things are not going to slow down after I have the baby. So I really have to change, or had to change something. So I'm really excited with the direction things are taking, starting with the new podcast name, as you might have noticed, and new branding. And which, don't worry, the creator to leader brand is not going anywhere. I'm just reshaping it. And I'm only sharing about the pregnancy as of right now here on the podcast because I truly feel like you guys are my closest people. Like this is such an exciting time for me in my life. So I'm really happy to share it with you because I know you're going to be happy with me. Social media, on the other hand, that has been a different story. Like I've been looking forward to returning to the podcast and thinking about the episode I was going to come back with. But social media, I've been just procrastinating for weeks. And I know that I want to come back because I honestly enjoy social media. Like it's not like I hate social media. I like it. So I know that once I'm in the flow of things, I'm going to start enjoying it again. But it's just the idea of it all, of getting started. What's getting me excited, on the other hand, is the vision that I have for this business and how it's really more alive than ever. So at the bottom line, I'm just having a hard time getting a post out there. And because I've been talking to so many of you during this break, I've been having so many amazing market research calls. I know that procrastination is also a big concern for you. Unfortunately, there's one thing you can do to get out of the loop and get moving. And sure, there are actions that are very foundational. Always, anytime we are resisting something, and those actions are connecting with your vision, your why, making sure you're still aligned. But this is not the episode for that. This is not the episode for that. This is about a very tangible thing, because I have a feeling that it's not that you don't know what you're building. It's more like you know what you're building, you know you want to get it out there, but there's just something about social media that's making you procrastinate. So that's what we're talking about today. So the one thing you can do to stop procrastinating on social media is to focus on the onion technique. Now, don't try to Google the onion technique. Don't try to get a professor at Harvard to validate my name of my technique, because this is something I created to just tackle procrastination. Because I have ADHD, so I need visuals. So how do you peel an onion? You do one layer at a time. And this is the visual I want to leave with you today. I love this approach and this visual because procrastination is basically your brain playing tug of war with itself. Because on one side, you have your logical, future-focused self who knows you should start posting, and you say, I know I should be consistent, and I know I should be posting more reels. Like, you know, all this should be. Like, you are aware of the things you quote unquote should be doing. But on the other side, you have your emotional, more present focused self who really, really doesn't want to deal with anything difficult or uncomfortable right now. And usually that emotional side is the side that wins. And because I don't subscribe to this all or nothing hustle coaching mentality advice of, just power through it, stop being a child, ignore your feelings, like, no, thank you. That doesn't work for me. I needed the onion technique, because posting on social media is not really a task. It is a series of tasks. So when we start thinking about everything that we have to do to complete this task, we are getting overwhelmed just by thinking, okay, I need to find an idea and then I need to write a caption. And not any caption, but it has to be this copywriter approved structure. And what about the CTA? What should my image be? Well, actually, I know I should be posting more reels. And oh my gosh, all the work to have my post be seen only by 2% of my followers. That seems like such a waste. I'll come back to it tomorrow. Like, story of my life and story of my client's life. Like, don't worry, that's more normal than you think, because we are looking at posting on social media like this one task, and it really is an onion with so many layers, with so many possibilities for complexity. So you need to stop looking at all of these 1,000 tasks and look at it like this layer approach. So what's the first layer? What are the must-do items you need to complete to post on social media? So how do you do this? Basically, in reality, to the most just basic element or level of posting, your post really needs a concept, text, and a visual component. That's it. Like, those are the basic layers of this onion. If you're feeling overwhelmed, if you are procrastinating, don't try to peel the whole onion at once and get super complex with deeper layers. Focus on the outer layers first and then go deeper as you feel more comfortable. And maybe that's as basic as, I'm going to do a basic caption sharing a tip. Maybe you just have the energy to post a selfie of yourself with your tip, and that's it. Or maybe that feels too daunting, and what really feels more manageable and lighter is creating a Canva graphic, for example. Like, don't let these quote unquote best practices keep you in that overwhelm and procrastination loop. Don't go on Instagram and start scrolling and start seeing what everyone else is posting. And then you start thinking, oh my gosh, sure, I could post this little simple first outer layer approach. But in reality, look at Sally, everything she's doing. No. You are shooting yourself in the foot because Sally already has a routine, has a system, and she's in a different place that you don't know about. You need to deal with your emotions, really, that are the ones that are keeping you stuck and procrastinating. So you need to do something that works for your state right now instead of trying to make yourself match Sally's state that you don't even know what that state is, really. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to focus on the simplest way for you to show up, that outer layer of the onion of showing up until that doesn't feel like such a threat to your emotional well-being. And I don't want to be dramatic, but it really, at some level, it does feel like that. And then maybe you can add another layer of complexity, right? Maybe after a month, you decide that for this weekly tip, you are going to share a live video. Like, you want to share video, but you're going to do a live video because you don't even want to worry about video editing and scheduling. Like, you just want to do it and get it out there. So now your tip of the week, which doesn't have to reinvent the wheel, it can be simple, you're going to be sharing it in a live video once a week. And you stay like that for another month. And now you are building that confidence and that security in the system, in your system, and you can start peeling that onion and adding layers of complexity as you desire. That doesn't mean that you have to get to the most complex type of reels. You can stop at the point where you feel comfortable, but you're only going to know that as you start setting these new base levels of comfort and showing up, and also proving yourself that you can show up. Now, I suggest, just for disclaimer purposes, posting at least 3 times a week on Instagram if you're posting for your business. But if you're like me, and if you are in a season of really getting back into the groove of things, maybe 2 posts a week for a month will be more than enough for you. Maybe I'll do 2 posts a week. Maybe I'll do 3. I think I might go with 2 at the beginning. I really am going to prioritize the podcast for this second trimester until I get things back on track. But you need to figure out what works for you and understand that your first layer is going to be different from someone else's layer. You need to trust that your layer, your onion, will be peeled in time. And you can always park at a layer of complexity until you feel ready to move to the next layer if you want to. Okay, this is adding those transitions and, doing trends and like the whole thing, or adding a TikTok account. Like, you can add more, but don't get too complicated. Remember, go to the basic outer layer of the onion, focus on that and park there. Maybe you identify an outer layer and you think this is it, this is the simplest thing, and then you're also procrastinating that outer layer. If that happens, you probably chose a more complex outer layer than you need to. Probably you think that this is the simplest way to do it, but maybe there's a lot of, but I have to. There's a lot of have to or should into that, and that's why you're having this resistance. So if you're still having the resistance and the procrastination, go back and think, how can I simplify this? How can I make this easier on my emotional level? Understanding that, yes, there's going to be a challenge, of course, absolutely. But it doesn't have to feel like you are using all of your emotional capacity for the week in just one post. So identify your most basic steps in the outer layers of your onion, create your one post, and then move on to the next week's post if that's what you need. Okay, there's no pressure. Your emotions are valid, and you can show up on social media without having to feel mentally exhausted and drained before even starting. you can enjoy social media, you can have fun, you can make social media your stage, and we can work together on getting you there. But if you're procrastinating, don't try to go for the center of the onion. Start with your outer layer, get comfortable with that outer layer, and then increase complexity. And you are going to start feeling more proud of yourself, are more confident in yourself, and excited maybe about trying new things. Try that and let me know how it goes. You can reach out to me on my Instagram. I'm going to be on the lookout for your DMs. My user is at Eugenia.woo. That's EUGENIA.WOO. Or send me just a microphone emoji, like wink, wink. This is a minimum. I don't have the mental capacity to send you a message, but like a microphone emoji. I'm listening. I'm with you. I'm processing, and I'm figuring out the first layer of my onion. I am so excited for you. I really cannot wait to see what your next step is. See you soon. Un beso. That's a wrap on today's episode. If you loved it, don't keep it to yourself. Send it to a friend who's ready to show up confidently online without the burnout. Remember that sharing is caring. And if you want to make my day, please drop a quick review on Apple Podcasts, because seriously, it means the world to know this show is helping you take the stage on social media with confidence. See you back here soon for the next one. Un beso.